Come on, let them say ya. Come on, let them say ya. That in my business, you catching fever. Getting serious like empty river. Ain't no stopping by the river. And as we coming, we sweeping, we cutting, we moving all the way. Yeah. We coming, yeah. We better coming. As we coming, we sweeping, we coming. And then when we meet obstacles, we better coming. Yeah, you come man, yeah. We coming. We better be coming. When the year is been checking you again, guys, we coming. We better be coming. We coming. We better.
Again, I'd like to say welcome to another edition of the program, The Bottom Line. And this program comes your way every Tuesday and Friday right here on The Bottom Line. You can follow us on Facebook. Our Facebook handle is The Bottom Line Liberia. And also our Facebook group is The Bottom Line. Better still, you can get us on YouTube with the same handle, The Bottom Line Liberia. And my name is Lynn Fagua. I come your way along with my co-producers, Paul Chilople, Antrik Chalo, and Jima Kamara. They may be joining me later on in the course of this program. But I'd like to assure you that tonight we'll have a lot of things to discuss. And so good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're watching from. We'd like to encourage you to share the video. And like I said, we're going to be discussing a variety of issues here this evening from my end. And by the way, I'm coming to you from the Royal Kingdom of Norway. Just to acquaint you with the weather, we have a very great weather right now. We're looking forward to the summer. And at this time, I think everybody in Norway gets so happy because after a very long winter, we see the sun. Our daylight is longer. The direct opposite of the winter, where we have very long night, starting from maybe around 2 o'clock in the afternoon to the next morning, 9 o'clock. But now we're going to be having daylight until maybe 12 o'clock at least. Then it begins to get dark. And so we're happy. We look forward to that. But tonight, like I said, we're going to be discussing a series of issues. And I'm awaiting probably Andre or Paul or Jamel. One of them will join me later on in the course of the program. Welcome, share the video to your contacts, and let's talk about Liberia. There's a lot of things trending in Liberia, and it really it's difficult for me where to start from. But there's a breaking news that just came that the Associate Justice locally has overturned all of the decisions from the lower court concerning the Liberty Party issue, and within 72 hours, she has given an ultimatum of 72 hours to Musa Belete to undo everything that he's done within the Liberty Party, that is suspending both Dillon and Nyomli from the party along with other officials, and also nullifying the endorsement of Mr. Cummings by the Liberty Party group that was honorability. So that is our development. That is our developing news. We'll follow within the next 24 hours, and we'll see how it's going to develop. But that was just breaking, and we we all look forward to hearing details of that news development. So not much I can say about that now. Probably if my co-hosts join me, maybe some of them have some information on that. We'll also be discussing that. But during this week, 2 days ago, the Unity Party, according to them, they were having a peaceful march to go to the United Nations headquarters and also to go to the American embassy to kind of create awareness that they are not satisfied with the decisions that have been taken by NEC, the hearing officer, as well as the Board of Commissioners concerning the upcoming local county by-elections. And so they called on their partisans to get into the street and go to, I mean, it was non-violent, it was peaceful, and I must commend them for that. I think this is what the Constitution calls for, that you should be peaceful in your gathering. And so they went to wherever they wanted to go to. But the question here is, is it something that they were not satisfied with, or that they are not satisfied with, for which they are calling on their supporters to march? Because the thing is, we all uphold, or we should all uphold the rule of law. And when it comes to the law, when the law applies to us, we really don't like it. But when it applies to other people in our favor, against other people in our favor, we like it. Now, here we see today, we hear the Associate Justice Wolokoli overturning the decisions of the NEC, or not the NEC rather, but in the case of Ability, along with the Liberty Party. Now, this goes in favor of Nyomli and Dillon and the entire group that was, because we know the Liberty Party is splintered. Okay, they are splintered now. We have one session going along with Ability and another session going with Nyomli and Dillon. And so this decision by the Associate Justice goes in the way of Dillon and Nyomli. And so you see people jubilating. They've been posting it all over the place. They are jubilating. But when the same law goes on the other side, then these people will not trust the judicial system. So it becomes a bit funny, and sometimes one wonders if we really mean business in this country called Liberia, because the law, we should expect all of the time for the law to be in our favor. Okay, when the law goes against us, when a decision of the law goes against us, the justices are not fair, the judges are not fair, the judicial system is not fair, and blah 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 blah. But the moment it comes to in our favor, then it becomes good. And so I have not been in court before in Liberia or anywhere in the world, So I don't know how people feel when cases go against them. Because if you know that the law is the law, and then you went into a lawsuit with somebody, or probably you went to court with somebody, you expect two decisions. One, you're either guilty or not guilty. So these are the two things that happen in the process of, lawsuit or whatever. So I don't know why when it turns against people, then they get mad, or they downplay the validity of the judicial system. So today we are hearing that the Associate Justice, let me just find that story. I don't know if I'll be able to get it, but I saw it a while ago that the Associate Justice has just ruled that all of the decisions by Musa Belete to suspend Nobly and Dillon from the Liberty Party should be overturned. Okay, very good. I think this is what all Liberians need is what unity, peace, and togetherness. Okay, but when things happen, if it is not in our favor and the law rules in favor of the opponent party, then we consider it to be something bad because we don't want to abide by the law. But again, we have to, as a people, we just have to make sure that whenever we have case with anybody, there are two things involved: guilty verdict or not guilty verdict. Because there's no way where the two people in the case will be wrong. There's no way where the two people in the case will be right. Probably in most cases, I don't know, but probably from the traditional setting where people make peace and say, okay, you forget it, but nobody wrong, or or two of you wrong, or whatever fraction of the piece. But in the real legal system, I think the complainant must be either wrong or right, or the defendant must be either wrong or right. And so these two things will always be part of the legal process. Okay. Having said that, let's go back to the Unity Party people. Now, the Unity Party, this is a grand old party. And this party, if you look at the history of the Unity Party, I was a little boy. I remember a long, long time ago, I think in the early 80s or around the late 70s, the Unity Party was formed by Dr. Edward Bien Kesley. And Dr. Kesley held this party together. I think they took the party to elections, probably against Doe, I want to believe. I don't remember that part well because, like I said, I was a little boy. And then this party struggled all along. This party has never won elections in the history of Liberia. Not until the likes of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf came in. And the reason why the United Party, most people would believe, or even including me, I would want to believe, that the reason why the Unity Party came to prominence and even won elections, okay, or even took part in elections, and became very, very powerful is the presence of people like Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. As you know, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has been a political heavyweight in Liberia over the years, and nobody can deny that. And so Ellen Johnson brings some life to the Unity Party that was struggling politically. And this party wins 2 terms. And so the party gains prominence. But if you look at the history of the party, their ruling history, how they ruled over the 12 years that they were in power, they were marred by corruption. They have tainted records when it comes to good governance in some areas. Human rights was not too good. Corruption was worse, to the point where the president had her immediate family in the government. And then when her son was found guilty of mismanaging certain funds, the oil fund, and she took responsibility. So, but the mere fact that she took responsibility meant at that time that there was a guilty confession. Because if you don't do anything, you don't take responsibility for that. You have to defend yourself. If you are accused of doing anything and you know you didn't do it, you have to defend yourself. But the president's son was accused and he was found guilty, and the president said, I'll take responsibility. And something is trending recently on the media concerning the Constitution of Liberia. When they talk about Article 61, they say that it gives the president this blanket immunity where the president cannot be prosecuted after being in power for a length of time. He or she will be in power, and whatever she did at that time, whether she stole all the money, whether she was killing people, he or she cannot be prosecuted. And so I believe that this is the part of the Constitution that these leaders that we have in Liberia, okay, especially after the 1986, I'm not too sure whether pre-1986 this part of the Constitution was functional, but after the referendum in 1986, and then they remade the Constitution, that Article 61 found its way. And this is why all of the, if you watch it, all of the, just come back from 1986 or come from Doe time, because Doe became president in 1985. So come from Doe time, come to Taylor Town, the interim government, all of the interim government, the fireman council, and all these things. Then come to Ellen Johnson. All these presidents have been mismanaging the coffers. They have been managing the economy of Liberia. And I think it is because of this Article 61 that they know, which we do know, some of us are learning it, that we didn't know, that makes them so brave that they can look at the economy. They know the people suffering, but yet they can go and take money and use it on their own to empower them, to enrich them, to make them and their family well, while the rest of the people remain like that. So I want to believe that this Article 61, okay, that this Article 61 is what these leaders depend on. Now, but having said that, going back to the Unity Party, this Unity Party should not even be a party that will be fighting around here after 2 terms, 12 consecutive years. They mismanaged. We can still see the physical scars of their mismanagement, their bad governance, both economically and social-wise. They have some of the bad human rights records. There were people who died, and nothing came out of it. People like the likes of Harry Greaves, okay, during the Unity Party time. I mean, people die in any country, because that's why people always say, oh, America or other big countries. People, yes. But these people that die, the government tries to find who killed them. There are people in jail, lingering in jail in big countries for killing people. So we're not saying that the big countries, they are shielded from people dying. No, that's not what we're saying. But when people die, and then you know that this person that died did not lie down by himself and die, he didn't get sick. So in the case of Harry Greaves, where they had a long stick into his anus, into his stomach, almost coming to him up. I mean, even a crazy man would not kill himself like that. No way. But nothing came from inside. So the United Party has some bad records. I mean, human rights records. Economically, of course, they were worse because besides the Doe government, the next government of Liberia that I know that received huge international funding, and it was all based on the sentiments or the sympathy that the international community had on Liberia after 14 years of war. And so the Ellen Johnson government received a lot of money. Besides the physical money, the government, Ellen herself, she received a lot of accolades. She had a lot of, good things happening for her. Right here in Norway, Ellen came here and she received the Nobel Peace Prize. And some of us were instrumental in doing that. The fact that she came here, we welcomed her, we made her proud, we showed the Norwegian people that this is our president. Nobody protested against her. Nobody showed the bad image of the country while she was on a visit here. She was able to be recommended for that prize. Okay. And so the Unity Party actually received a lot of fundings after the war. And it was understandable because why? The country went through a series of wars. Okay. The country was totally destroyed. The international community spent a lot of money in Liberia during the wartime. So they wanted, especially with somebody like Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who has been fighting for justice and human rights and all these things over the years, the international community, not only Liberians, but the international community had hope that, okay, after all of these other people, coup makers came, they ravaged the country, the war people came, they ravaged the country. This is a civilian person, or lady, Africa's first female president. I mean, there's so many records. And so when the international community look at all of these things, they were brave enough to pump in their money. So undoubtedly, the Unity Party government under Ellen Johnson Sirleaf actually received a lot of money. And if those monies were used perfectly Liberia would have really, really benefited. But again, this is Liberia. Some say Ellen Johnson did well, uh, disregarding how much she received, but because of mediocrity, small thing and full our eyes. Ellen did one or two things there, built few roads, connecting Ganta to Kagata or Ganta to somewhere. And people say, okay, she did well. But we didn't look at how much she received. And under this government, I'm talking about the Unity Party government, under that government, Liberia even discover oil, according to them. And the oil blacks in no time disappear. Something that other countries are willing to have, just a little bit of it. During the early time, there were concessions. And those concession agreements, according to people who followed them, there were 68 of them. And 99%, not even 99%, I think 68 and 66 of it. So it was not 90, maybe it's 99.99% of those concessions were bad concessions. One of them, which we say suffer from today, some were scrapped. And one of them is the ATM terminal that we still suffer from today. I mean, this is clear that Liberians are not benefiting. Okay. The point I'm making here is that the United Party should not be around here struggling for power for third term, because so to speak, because they came from power just 4 or 5 years ago and they want to go back. So what, because there is something called KPI. That's your key performance indicator. What are the key performance indicators that Liberians will look at from the United Party time to say, okay, wait, listen, we'll give them first turn, second turn, let's get them third turn. What are the key performance indicators? Okay, rather you have negatives. Okay, the economy was not as it should be, given the amount of money you received, given the amount of concessions that you signed. Liberia should not be even unemployed by now. Because if you, in a small country like Liberia, with roughly 4 or 5 million people, and out of the 4 or 5 million people, you got about 1.2 or 1.3 million people who are educated, the rest of them is semi-educated or whatever. So you shouldn't have problem with jobs. That if you sign 68 concessions, if those concessions were good, Liberians should not be even worried. People should be working. People should be employed. But because those concessions were bad, they didn't hold. Okay? So then you come back and you want to rule again after just 4 or 5 years. And even the government that took over from you, this government is performing very dismally. This government is not even doing anything for the people to say, okay, what we'll do is we'll forget about what we went through in the past and just let the past years be what they were, and let's move forward. Okay. Paul, do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. Good evening, Lefa.
Okay, great. Great to have you. And let me say welcome. And you look sharp today, Paul. I mean, you always look sharp, but today you are extra. So let me add up that.
No, I just came back from work. I'm sharp for you because driving and you alone on the program. So let me just join in and see how things are. How you doing?
Yeah, things that you can to redeem me, so to speak. Yeah, we're talking about this. The first breaking news we had was, or we just discussed briefly, is that the Associate Justice, Madam Howard Wolokoli, has just, according to information we're getting, giving Musa Belete 72 hours ultimatum to undo everything that he's done, like the endorsement of Mr. Cummings. She nullified it, and then she wants Nobly and Dillon or reinstated in the party to their positions and all this kind of thing. I don't know if you have, I mean, like I told the audience, it's just a developing news. We don't have all of the details yet, but I don't know whether you've heard anything concerning that.
Well, it's interesting though because I think most ability I just posted something on his website on his Facebook page. Say no decision of the Executive Committee of Liberty Party Reserve, Yomley and Dillon petition for right of prohibited deny. Where is the victory? So I don't know whether that's something, but I know they say I heard about the 72 hours not to undo everything. I think it's just to bring it and then it will. She just that's one person because there are five justices, right? Four, and then so it's one person come up with a decision, the other people can challenge it and take it to the full bench. So we shouldn't run into that. I think that's the jubilation of DeLong and Yomley. So is something that we have to look at and follow it because the two of them, she's just the political leader of the party, but they have a how they call this, their executive board. So it's something that we'll have to look at how it will play out in the Supreme Court.
Okay, and yeah, I think you are right. I think you're right. We shouldn't run with that. We have to let it be as it is. Like I said, we go for the development in that story. It becomes interesting minute by minute, hour by hour. So between now and Monday, because of course this is a weekend, so between now and Monday, we're gonna get a full detail. We're gonna see all the flesh of the meat on the bone. So let's wait. But Paul, again, then we move forward to 2 days ago. Your friends on the other side, the Unity Party, they call on their 450,000 members to march the streets of Monrovia, to go to the American Embassy, and also to go to I think the UN headquarters or somewhere. And you saw the crowd. I mean, Monrovia was locked down. 450,000 in small city of Monrovia was locked down, right?
Was it 450,000?
Oh, but how many people voted for them? How many members they boast of?
Well, if the 400 that the entire country 450,000 they're talking about, then that's mean that what I saw people were moving about.
Yeah.
I mean the thing is the United Party is a very interesting party. 2 days ago, they were the sheriff in town. And now the sheriff is no longer sheriff, you can't abide by the laws. And this is what getting it so interesting. How on earth, I keep repeating myself on this. You got into an agreement with somebody, you're running away from the agreement, and then you crying wolf. So all of this thing is just like, whoa. When you were sharing yesterday, you have CDC doing the same thing, you were panicking. So what all this? You got into agreement, live by the agreement. If you can't live by the agreement, then don't cry wolf.
I think you just made me dream my discussions, my 1 minute discussion concerning the Unity Party itself. I mean, this for me, it is bizarre that our Unity Party, this party has no credit. This party was formed when you and I were boys. I mean, I think late 17, the late 70s, 78, 79 or so, by Edward Bianchi. This party has no history of winning any elections, besides probably a few representatives and senatorial posts in the past, and even up to 2005. The likes of Ellen came to the party and revitalized this party and gave this party life. And the reason why the Unity Party even came close to power is, like I said, because of Ellen. Okay, and this party was lucky to win two different terms. But you and I know you work in company that is well established. Every company, they look for something called KPI. That's your key performance indicator. This is why you sell out to people. This is what I have done. It serves as your benchmark where you measure your progress or your failure again. But this government, 12 years. And let me join seditions, because seditions will always say they were there for 12 years. They didn't even know. I mean, Unity Party were there for 12 years. But 12 years, I mean, let's be frank, Paul. 12 years, a government that is really into business of development, 12 years is enough. You can take a first 4 or 5 years, 7 years. I mean, we're talking about 12, a dozen of years. If you had a child from year 1 to year 12, that child will be big boy, big girl. Okay, so 12 years, and you can't point to anything significant, and then you want to come back for a third term. So what are you showing the Liberian people? What are you selling to them? What is a benchmark that, okay, this is what I did? You measure my performance here, I stop here so I can go up. No, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know. How do you look at it that the United Party will be seeking a third term for Liberian people to give them that chance? For what reason?
Well, the reason being, there was a United Party that created the pimping riders. So that's achievement alone on its own. They could not create jobs, so they introduced the pimping riders.
But it sounds 68 concessions, though.
Well, it was the United Party again that created the Zocos, because they have just come. The country has just come from war. They inherited everything. They got money going into the system. Rwanda have come from war. Money went into the system. Look where is Rwanda today. Liberia came from war. Money went into the system. Look where is Liberia today. So the United Party, they were all car vehicle that was parked. They just started the vehicle and started running with the vehicle. That's what they did. And now they want to come back to office. So if you want to come back, I mean, lay out your plan, the vision that you have for the country. If they don't have a vision, that's why they ran away from this competition they were in, to cause more chaos in a place. So this very United Party that's so desperate for power, what they did, they saw somebody in the race that they saw as a potential threat to them. They decided to go in bed with the government. So what the United Party is all over the place, and now the government welcomed them and giving them their own medicine. Now they're crying, going to the American embassy, threatening the peace. So it's about time to wake up.
Now, you see, like the people in Liberia, they are interesting. A few days ago, a few weeks ago, a few months back, or whatever, everybody thought that the judicial system in the country was bad. Why is it that Musa Belete suspended Gwemli or removed them from the party, and the court is not doing anything, and so the court was bad. The legal system is bad. And today, the 72-hour ultimatum has switched the whole thing around. The judicial system have become so good. People are praising it. The same people, and these people, Liberian people are strange. And like you talk about the United Party people going to court and crying wolf and whatever. These are people who connived with ALP to take Mr. Cummings to court for fraudulent act or whatever. Now, because the case is not going that way, so it becomes bad, and then all of the delay against Mr. Cummings for them is good. Well, when they delay against them, then it becomes bad. So these people, I mean, what type of people are these?
Well, look at it this way. The sheriff 2 years ago, that sheriff was building a lot of mansions around the place, right? That sheriff was the one violating the rules of the land. They could drive on 3rd lane, 4th lane, wherever lane is the sheriff. Today, the other sheriff in town now doing more than what that sheriff did before. So the old sheriff say, "Oh, I made a mistake. I want to come back and finish all what I started." That's the Unity Party motive. It's not in the interest of Liberia. If it was in the interest of the country, Unity Party was not going to run away from the CPP, because it's not in the interest of the country. It's all greed, selfishness at the highest level. This is where we are. Okay. And poor Liberians are caught up in this mess.
Yeah, let me just ask one little question. We can discuss it together. You're not actually supposed to be the one to answer these questions. But let's say that the decision of Justice Wolokwali is upheld, or the rest of the justices endorse it, and nobody and Dillon have to come back to the Unity Party. I don't want to question their relationship with Bility. If they come back, what will happen to Bility? I don't want to know that. I don't want to even preempt it right now. That means they are coming back home, coming back to status quo ante, everything reversing in order.
No,
So,
nothing reversing, because I just got a text posted a few seconds ago that all of those things, what is saying this, even Steve Zako chairmanship denied, this personship denied, there's a lot of denial going on. So the little bit it took off that the document should be withdrawn within 72 hours, that's what they celebrating. But there are a lot of things underneath it that been laid out. I was saying we shouldn't rush into this.
no. Wait, the question,
So wait, let me
there's a question
finish.
I'll draft here.
Let me finish.
Uh,
So Musa Berete was elected as the party chairperson. They had a convention and he was elected as the party chairperson with other people, including the Yomli. They was elected. So the Supreme Court now going to say, oh, we're going back to the Constitution on a child Walker Bronsky, which was 2015. So the 2021 Constitution, if the associate judge called for that, perhaps they want to review that document in details, because now one judge cannot make a decision. It's the full sitting bench that will take a decision on this. So they might record that and study it. So it's not a victory yet for anyone. So they cannot do anything with Musa Berete because he was elected. So they will have to work with him.
Very good. But the question, I was just laying a premise to go to the question. The question here is, if let's just suppose that the decision will be withheld by all of the associate justices, and then nobody and Dillon will come back to their normal post in Liberty Party. Liberty Party, quote unquote, will now become one and strong Liberty Party. Musa Berete as the chairman, nobody as political leader, and blah 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 blah. Everything back to normal. Now, then the case against Mr. Cummings, then the same court say, okay, United Party or ALP, all of y'all who say Mr. Cummings, or all of y'all, okay, let's take it one by one. The case with United Party and Betty or with ESC, then because they're going to Supreme Court now, and the Supreme Court said, "Oh, listen, the decision taken by the NEC Board of Commissioners and the hearing officer was right, but to solve this problem, ALP and United Party will go back to CPP." Do you see something like that happening?
Well, the thing is, the Liberty Party as a whole endorsed Mr. Cummings. So these two parties stand as CPP. When Yomni then come back, that because there's an executive body of that party that accepted to stay in the CPP. Right. It was a handful of them that left, that was suspended and expelled. That handful come back, they cannot override the majority. So they remain in the CPP.
Okay, go to the United Party and the ALP now with this case.
No, that is the United Party and ALP said they withdrawn. So they will be out because they said they're going.
Yeah, but if the court rules that they document that you're fighting again, they contract something. The contract is banning. You'll go back to CPP.
No. They have a mechanism in there that they can withdraw the way they're supposed to withdraw. And that withdrawal, man, nobody stopped them not to move. It's their freedom, they can go. But that binding clause that hold them today, that if you leave after 6 months, before you can fee candidate in your party name.
Yeah.
That clause that caught up with them, that's the one now the Supreme Court will determine whether it's constitutional or not constitutional. The Supreme Court will so they can leave.
Yeah, no, but wait, Paul. The point I'm trying to, let's say the Supreme Court says, yeah, this clause is banning on you people, United Party and ALP. So you got two options. You either go leave the CPP and go as individuals. You can feel Joseph Waka as Joseph Waka, not under UP and whatever. But if you do want it, you still want to go as CPP, or UP. You still want to use the UP, then you got to go back to the CPP. You got to go back home because the Sunday State Party. You think they can make it? That's a question. You think it's possible?
Well, the thing is, it's possible because they were running away from competition.
Mm-hmm.
So if you run away from competition and then you came back to the contest, now it would be embarrassing for them to come back. So the possibility of them coming back, because you see, in politics, things can be bad today, tomorrow be good. Me and you can fight today, tomorrow we say, all right, yeah, forget that thing will come back. It's possible. But then this is where come into place now the repetition of the people. You have already told the public that this person, somebody did something to the document why you left. And then the Supreme Court found out that you lie and you want to come back, your credibility on the line. So when you want to come back and just look like a fool in the midst of your friends, some people cannot swallow that. So they may end up going independent or keep quiet.
Okay. I think that's fair analysis. That's fair enough. Well, Dolly Nelson is concerned, why is the podcast limited to friends only? If the podcast is not to sell the ANC. Now, you see, we're discussing politics. And in politics, there is something that is very important. Now we're in a political season, right? Yeah, we can sit there and see all this. Oh, Mr. Comey is good. Mr. Comey is dead. But the other people will not be praising their leader. They're looking for bad things. They're looking for the downfall. They're looking for the little pitfall on the other party. So what we're doing here, we're discussing the pitfalls of the other party, like the United Party. This is a party that came to power 12 years.
No, I think you need to rehaul statement again because you said what the podcast is limited. So that means it's not a wider viewer getting it. Read that thing again, what she said.
Yeah, but she said only to friends. Isn't this to sell Mr. Cummings? So I don't know because
it's not reaching the wider audience. I think that's a concern.
Well, yeah, that's why we share the video. I share it, and I share it to all of the platforms. So our viewers can also share it. Like $6, you can also share it. But probably I misunderstood what she's trying to say. But like she says, it's limited to only friends. It's not to. Okay, yeah, but $6, if that's what you mean, it's not that we limit it to friends. You can share it too. I'll share it to my friends, but if my friends are not coming, you can also share it to other people.
All right, let me come in. Says to $6. Thank you for your observation. What happened is there's a new page will be in the process of coming out that people will follow because we have situation with this the bottom line page. A lot of people have complained to John or not to John, and so in the next few weeks we'll have the new page that people will follow. So it'll be easy access, so you can share it in your group with friends so they can join. And thanks you for bringing that out. We understand we have some technical issue with that. So leave for your flow.
Okay. She said it's set to friends only. Okay. I'll, after the show, I'll go to the page or to the page and to the group and then check. Probably we're gonna change from friends to public board. That's it. Okay. Like the next thing again, Paul. I get tired discussing one thing over and over. Because the thing is, you talk, the people are not listening. You and I will live in a country or in countries where the people care for their citizens. The people care for life. I mean, where I am, if I just stay outside and fall down, I just intentionally fall down, you'll see people calling ambulance. Okay? If I call the hospital now that I'm sick, you see ambulance coming. People care for people so much. When we travel at the airport in Norway, all airports, before the plane land, you see fire trucks going on the side, two or three fire trucks tailing the airplane, right? Before the airplane comes to a stop. But here is our country where they got to divert plane, and not for any big problem. If you go to Natural Magay house, he got 24-hour current. Even if he doesn't have LEC, you have generators. If you go to Tue house, I know Tue does not sleep in darkness. If he doesn't have LEC, you have 24-hour generator. Georgia Umpa, I'm not talking about it. If nobody will get current like the road at Georgia. But you got the airport. My brother, this airport is that big. You got no one wrong way. To light those small few light bulbs along the tarmac, it will not take 2,000 kVA generator. No. So for these people to even have a generator that will run up to maybe 12 o'clock, but please come in around 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the evening, no current. And this is dangerous. You know, it may sound, people, I don't like drunk people. Like drunk men will not hear move from there. They can not hear no man, have my sympathy. All like drunk men know. Right now, they talking there, it's sounding funny in their ear, especially those people in power. For them, they feel that they are protected. But you don't know whose family will be on that flight. That identical flight that will come. That identical flight that you don't expect. Your somebody will be on it. And for these people to be so blinded to the fact that it's this thing. No, listen, it's not, let's forget about plane crashing. But what image does this present to the outside world?
The image it presents that we're in Liberia, we are not serious people. That to start with. This is an age-old problem, and the thing's simple. I'll let me break this down with the electricity problem in Liberia. I don't see why they can't work it out. We can take government money, taxpayer money, and build mansion and fence it and have 24-hour generator and get what? Free gas lift to have current. Okay. South the airport there's a river called the Farmington River. It's just there. You can pour a mini dam just there for the airport only. It won't cost much. I did a research about Afghanistan, a village that they spent $5,000 on a mini dam that could supply over 200 homes. $5,000. You have the Farmington right there. Why can't you just put a mini dam to supply the airport only? That's one. Number two, we have the sea also right there. You can have wind turbine there to supply the airport. That's two. Then you have the sun, solar energy. What solar energy does, they have the thing they call off-grid because LEC not reaching that far. So you have off-grid. The off-grid run on a battery. You can have a solar plant, a plant to just supply the airport as a backup system. At all time you have, so you got those three options. You're not spend even $2 million to have electricity on that airport. Now you have the solar street light. The one we are then took is the guardian light that is supplied around the country. Say, they have a solar street light where you have 100 watts solar light with a big battery in it. That it lasts for 9 to 10 years before the battery runs out. So that alone, you can use the solar street light to supply electricity over there. The wrong way, they have, the cat eye that you see on the street. They have all the solar cat eye. It's plenty on the floor. So in a day, it's absorbed the sun. In the evening, it comes on. So the runway will have light. It's just now, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to solve the electricity problem on that particular airport. So I don't know why our country stay backward on this. We have a lot of Liberians that are into renewable energy, including me. You see, the gateway to a country is your number one priority. That you setting yourself. This is welcome to my country. Welcome to your country is dark. From EWA Junction to Ralph Highway, that place should be 24/7 street lights. Why? If you took the condominium at Georgia Bay, that money could have just electrified that whole place. So we miss our priority, to be honest. We're not taking the airport seriously. You can, if SM Brussels decide to pull out, it's going to be difficult for us to get to Liberia.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Yeah.
I think one of the major problems, we always look at corruption to be the major problem in Liberia. Yes, the reason why we think corruption is the biggest problem is because it involves the physical cash. But one of the major problems we have in Liberia, my brother, it is the misplacement of people into professional areas. Now, it's like Paul, I studied shipping and maritime and logistics. Then you carry me to GFK to go be the chief medical officer. My brother, I don't know anything. Even the tablet that you gave me to take, I don't even know the concentration of that tablet. How do I manage a complex area like that? Now, you need to have someone who has idea. Managerial posts are not just for anybody. People say anybody can be manager. No, it's not true. I mean, managing, you got to know what you're managing. But I don't live in your house. So if you get time and say, come to my house one day and take over everything, I'll start asking, but Paul, what in the other parts here? Or what is this? Where you getting in a cartoon? I'll take some item, but Paul, I not see it. What is it? No. You see, it will not work. Managerial post, you got to appoint people who have some ideas about what they're going to manage. You are a professional. If they just as somebody gave you, put you in a theater and gave you the operating tools, and now right now they're not cutting people, but they're using the robots and things. It tells you can't operate it, man. Tell me, what do you think you'll do?
The problem we face with this group, this government, they didn't go for people that had experience. Experience is the greatest teacher on earth. And I gave example. And you told Jefferson Kochi, for example, a child who have not worked in his life, and you went me, he said the mayor. That position is for people who have worked many years in different sectors, come with experience. But you took somebody and put that person in your key position. What do you expect? The airport, the same. The guy out there, similar story with like Jefferson Kochi. There is no experience that has been brought onto the table. You see, that's what
I understand he used to be deputy for operation, something like that, for many years.
For many years, charge a young man age, then you say for many years. Then when did he finish his school? So he just tell you what many years. So they come up with all of the things. Key position is where you bring people, serious administrators, that when you get there, they look at the whole place and say, no, from today we'll start doing things like this. So they don't have administrators in Liberia. Not many places you have. So that's what we are struggling. Mismanagement.
But what can we say? Are we suffering from brain drain? That's not the case.
No, we're not. We're not. And the thing is, because the government usually run on a friendship business. That's why they don't involve people from all sides to do it. Look, let's give Eddie that Ellen, they gave her small credit. When she decided to jumpstart that car that was parked for many years, what she did, she went out there and brought brains. The Anthony Sayon, the former finance minister, she went and brought people to help her jumpstart it, and then those people started going back. Liberia always have brains. But if you decide to run group of people that will go behind closed and say yao yao bati bati and decide to share power among them with no sense of direction, that's where you get. What are the priorities?
Well, so I think like we were saying, the only thing that we need to do, our government need to do, is if this LEC not working, if we do have a reliable power system, go to everywhere around the world, people using the solar system, the solar panel. Liberia is not even a developing country. I was in Asia, I was in the Philippines, and I went somewhere way to the north. And we went to this beach. You see this gigantic, solar panel. I mean, not solar panel, or windmills. The same thing right here in Holland, right next to you. Okay? The guy, we went to Rotterdam when I was in school in England. We went to Rotterdam for complete 3 days. We were in Rotterdam, we were in Amsterdam, we went also to Belgium, to Zeebrugge, to the ports. And you see these windmills, the thing working. So, and you mentioned something, Paul, which is very important, that about our gateway. Liberia is a country that is blessed. There are many countries in the world that are landlocked. They have only 2 gateways. They are land borders and their international airport or airports, whether international or local. Those are the 2 gateways that landlocked countries have. But we are blessed. We got 3. And those 3, out of those 3, 2 are major income generating gateways, the port and the airport. I'm into shipping, so I know what I'm telling you about. Look at Liberia. Up to now, as old as Liberia is, we do not have cruise ships coming. Even if they come, how many of them do come? Okay? And we are strategically placed on the west coast of Africa, where the whole sea is open to us. And how many countries we got situated on the sea? Montreal, Grand Bassa, Madibi, I think somewhere Riverside, all the people, all the
Sano, Riverside, Maryland.
Yeah, Grand Cru. In 1996, the interim government, they sent some consignment of drugs. My first time actually to rush it. I was one of 3 journalists that went with the AFL. All the Warren Fashion was represented on that ship because they were carrying drugs to Maryland. My first time to ever go to the Southeast. Okay, we took 5 days to go and to come back, up to 6 days. Okay, on one small fishing boat, and I could see all the because of course we couldn't dock. When we got a Grand Cru, we had to stop way in the middle of the water, and then the crew people thought that people, because they had just fought war there 2 days ago when we got there, so the people thought someone coming to attack them. All the people came with their weapons and things. We on the show until none of them were going to how to get some crew battle cry. Then the people came and put us in the to carry the rice and medicine we care for them. So we got a lot of seaports that we can develop. Okay, we shouldn't be suffering. And people in Maryland or people in like somewhere like Grand Cru who got to the place. I'm telling you, I saw the people. I gave up during the water. One man wearing like 3-4 trousers. One time at the same time, because what? The first trouser the man wearing the pot here. So he wear the other one to call the pot. Then I want the tap open. Then I was like, what? So with all those blessings we got, seaports, you got ships. If you get small ships doing something we call coastal transport, taking things from Montreal, going, certain things will not be expensive in Europe. Okay, but we're not making use of it. Some country looking for just a small opening. Okay, just small opening so ships can come in. But we got all those things.
So Lynn, for all this ball to serious minded people with vision, Look, Liberia has the longest sea coast on the entire West Africa. We have the longest. All the big countries, you see, they got smaller sea coast, but we have the longest coast from Cape Man to Cape Palmas, the longest on the region there, that you could do a lot. So we always miss our priority, and that's what we just about bus, what they call coastal buses in Liberia. The Indian government had to donate it to Liberia. Everything we beg for it. So what's that?
And that's why Mr. Cummings in his when he was on Spoon recently, he said one thing that still rings bells in my mind, in my ears. He said, our dependency mentality. Our dependency mentality. Once we do not get rid of our dependency mentality, it will be very difficult because we always settle for little or nothing. And let me tell you, if you're begging, do not expect the person you're begging to give you abundance. No. Do not expect the person to give you abundance. They cannot. They will give you what they think they can give you. You see? So we so dependent. Our country, we do have seaport of our own. The Americans, if they didn't build out that little tight seaport during the war, during the Second World War, we would not have seaport up to now. Okay.
So, Linfa, as far as our leaders, we need people with vision. I'll tell you something. When I left Liberia to travel to USSR to study, I went to study civil aviation. And that civil aviation was to build airports in the 9 counties by then. So the vision, though, had that when these guys come back, each of the 9 counties will have an airport. So that was my role when I went for my scholarship. Yeah. So it left for a leader that have vision. The vision will drive the country the way we want it. If we have leaders that doesn't have vision, then they end up putting the taxpayer money in their pocket. And this is where Liberia is struggling with. People, the handful of bad guys in our country keep doing the same thing over and over and getting people to suffer. No vision. But they can build a big mansion and fence it over there and ride $80,000 car being looked after 24/7. If you have vision, that wasteful spending will go to better priority, like the airport and others.
Yeah, but here again, the reason why our leaders are like this, and this have been trending just a few days ago about this Article 61 that gives this blanket protection for the president. I mean, that a president will come and they'll do anything, whether they kill all the citizens. You can't do anything to them because they're sitting president. Can you imagine? Any country, some country get that kind of thing in your constitution. So what do you expect? You think Georgia has to be the guy came in less than no time, he built up because he already read that part of the constitution. Can you imagine?
There's nothing cast in stone. If you become president tomorrow, Linfa, from day one, if you have the 100 days and you have better legislature, you can change things around. You can have a referendum easily and change the what's in the constitution that you want. It just takes a person with a good mindset and a vision to say, dude, this is how I want to see Liberia. You see, Paul Kagame, they may call him human right, he get bad human right record, but the guy have a vision for Rwanda. So that human right record that he got that's so bad, the goodness of Rwanda have overshadowed his bad record. So it's always left with somebody with a vision. A good vision will drive the country the way they want to see the country. And that is lacking in Liberia. And
giving what is written in the constitution, that alone can make, like you said, a good leader. But if anybody, any greedy person comes to power and read that part of the constitution, they can say, oh, but when I got a kind of protection, I don't know. So they can do anything. So I think that part of the constitution should actually be removed.
So then what if you come to serve the people and you read something that is wrong? So a true leader will say, no, I won't accept this. We'll have to change this thing. You cannot serve. You didn't, it was not the power not given to you to come rake the country to pieces. No, you cannot serve. As a servant, you serve the people. You saw something wrong, you correct it. That's where that's where servants do. I come in your house, say, oh, live for, I cannot serve you. But then what happened? I cannot serve you, then you start serving me. And that's Liberia. They put people in place to serve them. But then it's the other way around. When they put them, they put become a servant, a beggars. So okay. So let's look at the vision. Let's look at the vision of Alexander Cummings. Let's look at the vision of others, the Taiwan, the Joseph Human Barker, even the George Weah. What are the vision all of them putting on the table now? You can tell me anything about the common, what are the vision they have now for the country after 5 years of ruling?
Well,
where's the record?
I've not listened intensively to Taiwan, but Taiwan is talking about good governance, and it's understandable if Taiwan talks about good governance because he has always been this human rights lawyer. He has always been in the interest of human rights. You want to see good justice. But it's just the ordinary justice. If me and Paul fight, I'm wrong. Paul came into court. The court judge, oh, Paul, you're right. Linford is wrong. Linford, pay social fine or go to jail. That's good justice, right? For Paul and for anybody else in the country, right? But does that develop the country? That's questionable. Yeah, we understand that we need justice. Okay.
So his platform, he's running on the World Economic Crown Court to be established in Liberia.
Yeah, that's the justice.
That's why he running on. So he sees something the other way that he think he can get it done. So he have some clear vision. So let's look at Joseph Human Barker before we go to George. We are PDP.
Yeah, Joseph Human Barker, he had his acronym ARTS, agriculture. The arrow is what?
Is that sanitation or something? Because I keep hearing them talking about sanitation.
Yeah, that is not ARTS.
Okay.
Agriculture. Okay, let's go to the T. I'm not interested in anything, but the first one is agriculture for sure. The S is sanitation. The T is
transformation. Wow, what the T for? So all right.
Okay, the arrow is roads.
Roads, right?
Yeah, agriculture roads. Yeah, agriculture roads. The T, I just forgot, and the S sanitation. So
after 12 years, right, of over, I don't know, $20 trillion that passed in both of their hands, here and former President Ellen. They couldn't have done all that agriculture today with some be feeding ourselves. And he was one time agriculture minister before. So he had all the three things that he just called. Why they couldn't do it on Eddie when they had the most money coming in?
No. Joe Barker will defend it this way. He will say, Honor Ellen, he was vice president, and according to the governmental system we have, the president is more powerful than anybody. So if you are vice president, that's why this old man is cool.
But wait a minute. He said in his interview, when they go to a cabinet meeting, he's the last that usually leave the room to give her advice. He's the last. So that means he was one of the key advisors to her. So if you have all these brilliant ideas, you're running the country together. He was not alone. She was sending him places.
But the man already told you that he was an old car.
No, but he said he was an old car. But then he said he was also giving role that when she could not travel here, he was going there representing her. He was the last person to leave the room after the half cabinet meeting. He was the principal advisor. So he was not only an old car park, he one of the key players in our government. So
okay, he will also find an excuse around me and say, I advised her, but she didn't take it.
Okay, fair enough. They served for 12 years. He sat down there. The woman didn't take it. So why he couldn't pull out? Why he couldn't resign? Why he couldn't stop receiving salary?
They were working. Their term was not over because he had a vision. He wanted to become president.
No, but then she was not doing the right thing according to him, because when it comes to the bad part, it was not him. When it comes to the good thing, then he became part of
it. I mean, your questions are well in place, but again, maybe you acting like you don't know this old man, because this is the old man that wants to be the clean man all the time, want to be the good man.
Yeah, I know why I'm drafting because I'm talking about, let's look at those with the agenda. How Liberia will benefit now going forward? How will they benefit now? The
two things I can recommend.
The airport you just talked about, our airport, I can tell you something you will not believe about. I will say in a public manner.
Tell me.
When Ellen was in office, we engaged the government from ERWA Junction, the Pinsvesa, all the way Rawafi to the airport. We did a map of that airport that we were going to electrify from ERWA Junction straight to Rawafi. And the whole idea was great, because 1979, before OAU came to Liberia, the late President Tobo, they had light poles everywhere. Every 100 meters, there's light pole. So based on the calculation on that 100 meter, we did calculate up to Rawafi, and we came up with 489 pieces of light.
When you talk about we, who is we?
It's a group of us that sell the idea to the government.
Okay.
When we did a calculation, the cost of the installation, purchasing the light, and installing everything, it was $700,000. The government told us they didn't have money to do that project. And we're talking about putting the latest solar street light that were taken from Italy to take to Liberia. The government could not do it. So, honor them, they had the most money. And Joseph Barker was part of that group. I met Joseph Barker in his office in Monrovia at the Capitol building. I had a meeting with him twice. But he did not accept my proposal because he had one of his countrymen on Benson Street that were getting government contract on solar energy. So so when I say, if he had that vision for Liberia, when we saw this idea to him, at that time, you think our airport will still be dark?
But again, he will, like I said, he will always have that. He will always have that excuse to give that. Oh, I was not president. You know, the president was. But my question here is, and you answered us. You asked us the question. Why didn't he say, well, I think because the president, even the president can resign. He or feels that he or she is not doing better, and pressure there, they can say I'm resigning. So you first president, you can resign, no problem. Why he didn't resign? Yeah, but this old man sat there, everything bad went on. He didn't talk. He wanted to come make himself the white chicken. Then he said, then he started to pretend like one little innocent baby. He said, me, I was just there, I don't do nothing because I was not president. Our old car, I was just packed. Your old car, you were just packed when you had all the Senate. One, your old car when you have all the group of 77, the group of people that get budget, that get money in the budget. Your old car, when you serve as vice president, you go attend programs that the president will attending. When the president is going somewhere and the president doesn't go, you deputize for her. So I don't understand. So he, and the Liberian people put a bad sentiments like this. He acts so innocent and clean and sorrowful because he can talk softly, I was just pago, I will not do anything. 12 years, the first 6 years, it was enough for you to say, no, I can't make it, let me go.
No, but brother, that's Liberia. The thing is, there are a lot of bad people in Liberia. They don't want the country to move forward. The fact is, let the old man get pack a bed and sit down. Yeah, look at George Weah, the young person who leading this country. The man, the most popular Liberian, the one that people put in without any question that he was going to be the one to change the nation. What happened to him? The one who refused to speak to the people in Liberia, that he does not talk on any issue, but he goes to his church and throws hints at opposition. The country gone bad. He can't come on and talk. People are dying. He can't speak on it. Airport died. He was coming from Ghana or wherever you're coming from. They had to turn around. They were hoo-ha. He never spoke on it. SM Brussels the other day, 2 days ago, he had not said anything. What's happening to him? What happened to his leadership? Where Liberia headed?
In a nutshell, the brother is now a leader. He's not prepared for the job. He's not qualified for the job. That's a summary of everything. He's not prepared for the job. He's not qualified for it, and he's not a leader. Now, Joshua picking the world best. Besides Lone Star, for those of you who play football, if I'm wrong, tell me. Besides Lone Star, Joshua play in Cameroon, he play in Ivory Coast, he play in England, he play in Italy, he play in France, for many different clubs. Yeah, in Qatar. How many times did Joshua become, besides Lone Star, which of those teams that Joshua play for, and you are performing more than almost all the players? How many times did he ever become captain for any of the teams? None. Besides Lone Star. And Lone Star, because of poverty, because the country didn't have money to carry the team forward, so Georgia had the money to do it. So he just took on he had like a captainship, so to speak. Because if he couldn't be captain, that means he will not sponsor the team trip and all the kind of thing. So let's forget about that. There was no competition against him. The brother is just lucky. No competition against him in Lone Star to become captain. No competition against him to become president of the country. Because this is a man who didn't tell anybody what he would do for them. And the people went and lined up and voted for him. Okay? Right. He was in the CDC. There was no competition against him. Like in the CPB where two parties are contesting against each other. They got to grill each other. But in the CDC, there was no opposition to him. Everybody fell under him. So he wrote on the ticket, on the party's ticket freely to go to the presidency. But to answer your question, the country is going nowhere under George Weah. I mean, he may have touched one or two things which he's supposed to do more. Okay? But because of mediocrity, people, we are so small-minded. We're supposed to get bag of candle, but a bag of rice. But if you put one spoon in the rice and show it to our mouth, we open our mouth, oh yeah, thank you. The whole bag of rice enough is for us. But you just take one spoon and show it to our mouth. We're happy. That's Liberian, that's us. Yeah. For example, Liberian man will go when he graduated from high school. He depended on his father. My father working to the bank. So you sit down. You can get time again. My father get house. We'll be collecting the house rent. You get 40-year-old man with wife and children, with grandchildren, they all living in a powerhouse. See? So our minds are so small. See? So George Weah, under George Weah, to answer the question directly, the country is going nowhere, number one. The guy is not presidential material. He's not a leader, and he's not qualified for the job to be president. Of course, there's no college, no university for presidency. Now somebody can go and be president, but you got to be a leader.
Well, the thing is, Yeah, although there's no way people can go say, oh, our president before here, then, but it comes with experience from all sector. And the kind of experience that come with that will give you an idea how to manage the country administrative wise. You need management. So you need a manager who can come say, look, this is how we're going to manage this place, and which is not there. If somebody who never managed or captain for a football team and you gave your country to manage, that's for a joke. So you need people to go in there who have a wild broader experience in all sector. That's the economy, which is the key to everything. I cannot be president of Liberia. I don't know what is economy, because the decision you made, everybody live up to that decision. You made one mistake of your decision, the whole country suffer. So you don't put people into that role that don't even know what medicine should be in hospital, how people will travel from Maryland to Monserrado or to Cape Mount, where how you create the kind of jobs or how you raise taxes and where the taxes will go for. If you don't have people who understand that little management skills, then the country is heading nowhere. And this, so you find this particular group, there are a lot of hungry people that have been shouting all around the place that have given jobs to. So they're not managing. They're just there. They're not managing.
But do you think the Liberian people eyes are really, really open now? And they are
But
seeing
it left with us to open people's eyes. And we should tell people the truth. You don't just vote for somebody that comes to you because the person was popular. Popularity have not been proven. Your popularity does not mean you can manage people. So we need to tell people the truth. And we need to tell our brothers and sisters too on the other side that taking their own opposition to court. Where the benefit in it? Because the person stronger than you, so you take this person to court. I thought they sort of work together to unsee the popularity. But you fighting among yourself because you want to be vice president or you want to be this person. So it's not about the country. And this is why you found today the CPP, the two group of the CPP, the Ure and the Barca group, where Yomni and all that fall into, they don't mean well for Liberia. If they meant well for Liberia, Yomni or Delon will still say, no, this is not going to happen. This is not what we build the institution for. But the wickedness within the people, that's why you see today, they're going to court. If you hear people keep saying, oh, we are a win, because these very people are in bed with the government. And they are the people who causing us, oh, this man will win. The people suffering. And you keep telling them, and in Liberia, look, I tell you, people don't listen when you're talking to them. You got to keep preaching. So you get a lot of bad, big mouth people that lies, like the Mo Ali and others. Very good at lying. So those are the kind of people that every day they're on radio lying.
Okay, let's come to the case with Mr. Cummings. Yesterday, Mr. Cummings was in court, and then there was some drama again. Mo Ali said he could not testify because the original copy of the document from NEC was not there, even though the NEC official had earlier on come with this document, presented it to the court, made photocopy, approved by the court and the Solicitor General himself. But Mo Ali said he must lay out on the original copy before he can testify, and he ran away. And then when they questioned when the journalist quizzed the Solicitor General, he was very, very, I'm sorry, I don't have that tape available now, but he was very, very unbalanced. I mean, you could see that the guy was choked. And one of the questions that the journalist asked him, I still remember, is you and the Solicitor General, I mean, you and the AG, who is the boss? Of course, he answered. He said, the AG. Then he asked me again, but why didn't you present your facts, your evidence before told the Solicitor General, told the Attorney General that you have to wait until he can ask for it. And I think you listened to his answer. He was just dangling. So this case, and then Councillor Gloria Musu Scott, former Chief Justice of Liberia under the Taylor regime, is also one I witnessed it, but she's been drafted. And earlier on, they talk about 34 people, but the Solicitor General said many of them have been dropping, so the number is reducing. And then and he said one more thing. He said that caught my ear was that if you're supposed to bring 19 people to testify, just for example, and then 17 of those people come and they say the same thing. Okay, so you don't need two more again. It's majority. So how do you see the new trend in this case where VP Waga doesn't want to testify? Mo Ali, Secretary General of the party, doesn't want to testify, and the dropping Councillor Musu Scott.
The thing is, when I said these people were in bed with the government, that's exactly the point. So the strategy here is, look, let's keep this man in court. That's all. Because something like forgery, it does not require 10,000 people to come and testify. No, that's a piece of paper. Now, when somebody went and broke your vault and took your diamond and then you're searching for it all over the place, that's a piece of paper. It's a piece of paper meaning that you got to drag this case. They think that case that not even sort of last a week or two.
Yeah, if they are presented their evidence, I'm sure the case.
But they don't have evidence.
Yes, that's why I see all the number of witnesses coming because
so
they
just show you.
See.
Look, it just show you it's a witch hunt. And it's just complete nonsense. It's fraudulent. It's nothing big. If you find guilty, you go to jail for 4 months or you pay £1,000 or $1,000 fine. Is that the one you got to waste taxpayer money? Since 4 months now, how much they have spent on that case? That the case should have been done with in a week or two. Somebody found guilty or not guilty. So if you listen to him, why you say, oh, it will bring the remaining 14 when one person says something, then that thing may call other names, will go bring out other names, there are other names. So it's all delayed tactic with the government. So that was the incompetency is the key to all this. Just the minister not in line with the Solicitor General. Those two people should be sacked immediately for the government because the government know what they're up to. You ever heard this president sack a key minister? No. There must be a reason why he can do reshuffle. Okay. But they can go for the lower people and get rid of them.
Yeah, but let's not waste the time tonight. Yeah. And we like to say thank you to our viewers. But before we go, there is this big occasion coming up in Germany, and it's going to be in July. And I think it's gaining momentum because the planning committee is working very hard, and they're getting some positive vibes. Paul, I understand the hall has been arranged and everything is set, right?
Yes, from what I've been told, everything is secure, contract, everything. The all hall is decent, very beautiful. They have
about 300 people.
Yeah, so it will be exciting time, and the camp is kind of excited. The team are overwhelmed. They're working extremely hard. Liberians are coming from all part of Europe will gather over there during the summer. So we're all looking for this visit and the interaction. So as from what I was told, the program planners, after I think this week, when they have settled, they're going to appear to lay out the program on bottom line. So we're looking forward to that. But we ask people to share the flyers and encourage other people. Look, that's summertime. Maybe by then the Ukraine war will be over. So maybe and we can all go and have a very good, nice summer and meet all those people that we haven't met before in the ANC camp. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is not only going to ANC members, all Liberians in Europe. You know,
Yeah, and let me say something. The purpose of this visit is to introduce Mr. Cummings to the wider Liberian community in the entire Europe.
Right.
And for them to be able to sit with him, interact with him, and ask him any question concerning their country. That's where and why he think he will be the best. He will lay out his agenda so they can listen to him, whether you're Seditian or you're Europeans or you Taiwanese or wherever group you come from, or Dr. Kasser group, or you position or not position. He's just going to meet all Liberians and have a word with them. They can interact with him. That's where the purpose of this occasion is all about.
Okay. Well, that's it. And we like to say thank you very much, Paul, for this evening, and for you, our viewers, who will take care of that problem. Or I got some comments that a lot of people are trying to open a link. When they see the link, they click on it. It's not working, but we'll take care of that. Like Paul said, when we come here on Tuesday, we hope that things will be better, and we can expect our viewers to be able to open a link as we send it up. So thanks so much for watching, and thanks, Paul, for being there always, and thanks to myself too, because it take you your 10 in the J. They say J10 people. Then you inside counting everybody 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then when they close the case over, you're for me was that, they say, you should be number one.
I'll tell you something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was 1980, around 85, 84, 85. When Doe came to power, New Day were small, and people used to go to executive mansion for a job.
Yeah.
So Doe came out. He called somebody, say, you the boss man here. Count 10 person you're coming in my office. The guy went, he counted 10 person, including said 11. So when they go in those, I said 10. So you want job, you go by. I said counting people.
The other phone where they see Joe, you remember Joe used to come outside and all the people stand on the inline. Then they say, oh, Mr. President, I want this, I want that, I want that. You want paper right there, I give it. So this lady, she was so excited. She will wait till they take her lunch. She not so far ring beating there. When she came to the president said, what you want to say? Hey, Mr. President, I've been long waiting to see you. But the way I see you, said, I just want that. Do so again. But then I go there. Your friend are coming for rice, money, and things. You say you want that, but then go there. Well, what a good way to end this evening, Paul. And I appreciate your company and my company together. And let's say a big thank you to our viewers. And just before we go, let's leave you with some things that Mr. Cummings, some qualities of Mr. Cummings.